Hey guys, what's going on? It's T-Jack coming at you again with another video, the first time in a while, and as you can probably tell from the title of this one, I'll be going over my recent CGC order submission that I got back. It was a little bit over 50 cards, I think closer to 60. Assortment of errors that I got in that one, but mostly they all came from a stretch between 2004 and 2006, and you'll get to take a look at those more in depth here in a second. I want to say, if you like the video, if you like the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a like here. But yeah, so CGC obviously started grading, I think, back in May or June, around that area. And it was welcome because of what happened with PSA being backlogged. And CGC getting into it just kind of gives another voice. They've been very thorough about what they do in their process, and what they're kind of bringing to it, which is different. They grade error cards. And I had some other friends that have graded their submissions through CGC, and I'd kind of gotten an idea of what to expect. It seemed like they are a little bit more stricter. But the thing is, it's kind of hard to really judge what they do unless you've graded with some of the other grading services like PSA, and then kind of had your own cards like pre-graded. See what you kind of saw from it, and then go with there, and then get it back and see kind of where you lined up. I'll go through all the cards here in a second, but first I want to give my thoughts. I kind of do believe that CGC might be a little bit more strict when it comes to the higher grades. I guess a 10 through CGC might carry a little bit more weight than through PSA, just because there seems to be some inconsistencies. Now, there is in every grading service, but I kind of noticed it a little bit more that they are very strict. And I'll go ahead and I'll start going through some of the cards right here. So this one, I thought it would probably get a 10. I chose not to get subgrades on mine. Cheaped out a little bit there, so sue me. But yeah, you could. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly why some of my cards didn't get 10s. I actually did not get a single 10 in this submission, though I got numerous 9.5s, as you'll see. But yeah, these I was very pleased with the case. It looks great, especially in comparison to a PSA case. It looked terrific. Yeah, it just kind of makes the card pop even more. Just like, look at how good it looks. And then, like I said, there's an assortment of errors. A lot of this you'll see Fire Red, Leaf Green, and EX Emerald. I sent a lot of these in because the prices are starting to go up on it, and it's we're seeing prices go up on some things that I may not have anticipated, like some Jungle first editions like Pikachu and Eevee. I didn't expect them to get to the point they're at right now, and even some of the first edition or even unlimited starters from base set are starting to take a rise. So I figured I might as well go ahead and grade these and stay ready just in case, because if I send them to PSA, there's no idea how long it might take. But yeah, you'll start noticing a little bit more here as to the consistency of the grades. Like I said, 9.5s and 9s are pretty much primarily what I got from these. Now, this is from that binder set that I did a video on a couple months ago that I bought for $100. So all of these cards came from that. And really, I was really pleased. Whenever you're grading, you kind of try to prepare for the worst. So I was setting my expectations. Oh, there we go. Let's get things back. Let's hope not to do that again. But anyways, I was setting my expectations to for some of the worst. I was anticipating that I'd probably get back a lot of 8s or 9s, but I was pleasantly surprised by what happened. So they really outshot my expectations there. See, it's just the cards just look so beautiful in these cases. There's another 9.5 for the Ponyta. And before, a lot of these cards probably weren't worth grading, but they're kind of hard to find in this good of condition, especially now. And a lot of people played Fire Red, Leaf Green, so I wanted to stay ready. And there are some popular Pokemon, like you can see the Snorlax here. So just the camera a little bit more. I'll just go ahead and hold it. But yeah, see, Snorlax. And it just looks really good in these cases. Now, I do have one complaint about these cases, and you'll probably see as I get through more of this order. They do seem brittle. For as good as what they are, they do seem brittle. I really love that Charmander. I had quite a few that came back chipped. I think we're actually about to come up on some right now. So yeah, so here's one Pidgeot. There was a chip right there in that one. So I need to contact them and see exactly what I can do. I sent this submission through Ludkin, so shout out to them for getting it back. And they did meet the turnaround time. You know, they did this in less than 30 business days, which is the service that I use. So I was extremely pleased with that. Just going over these a little bit more. And just a quick note, all of these cards are for sale. They are up on my eBay. If you search them, you can find them. I'll go ahead and try to add a link here in the description. But yeah, they are all available. And I'll get into sales here in a second. I actually already sold one of these. So I've had the submission back for about a week now. So yeah, there's the Parasect. Then the Slowbro. But yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the sale. I sold a Neophile Charizard in 9.5. I sold it for $180 the other day. Now I did assume that Charizard and the Stars would probably be the quickest one to move. You know, cards like this, you know, Bulbasaur, those ones that, you know, are very popular. I figured some cards like Marowak, for example. I figured some cards like that will probably be a little bit slower to move. But yeah, I kind of can't keep harping on it, how much that holo pops in these cases. I did a side-by-side comparison yesterday to a PSA card, and it just the difference is just remarkable. Marowak. And this is actually one that I've had some inquiries about. I've kind of been sort of surprised. I didn't realize Cubone was that popular in that art, so yeah, but the 9.5 on that. You know, these are a lot of these 9.5s. I wouldn't be surprised if you cross them into a PSA 10, just because, like I said, I think that CGC standard right now, from everything I've seen in my personal submissions, both with PSA and CGC, CGC is a little bit more stricter. Now, here I go again with the case issue that I mentioned. Here's another one that came chipped. As you can see, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I've noticed some people have had that issue. I guess it's whenever they encapsulate it, it comes down, it kind of cracks it. So that's probably something that they're going to work on moving forward. That's another one where the holo just looks great in this case. I really love these reverse holos. I think I noted that a lot in that last video, but these were outstanding cards. These are probably some of the best reverse holos that Pokemon's ever done. And I know a lot of people are fond of Legendary Collection, but to me, this one kind of takes the cake. Then there we go with Farfetch'd. Again, like I said, a lot of these are 9s and 9.5s. So, here we go. Dodrio, another 9.5. Once again, all these cards are up for sale on my eBay. And here's another one with the case chip, kind of in the same area as that Pidgeot had. Like I said, it's not something that really is detrimental to the card or impacts it, but it is there. No, Rattata. Raticate. Again, like I was very pleased with the return of a lot of these coming back as 9s. I think it makes them a little bit easier to sell. And here we come up on a couple Kamiya arts. Weeping Bell, 9.5. And Victory Bell in the 9. Again, I did different eras. Mostly, though, they all come from the same, 2004 stretch. We'll get into a couple of another EX series. This has been a very popular one. Say hello to the cat. Say hi to the people, Neville. Not very talkative today, huh? But go ahead and... This is probably actually the lowest graded one that I got. I'd probably have to look a little bit more into this. Maybe there's some more issues on the back that I didn't notice, which is entirely possible. But if that's just one card that I missed, I think I'll be fine with that. This one's been a very popular one that's kind of garnered a lot of attention, and it's one of the beautiful art. It's probably one of the best Magikarps ever made, in my opinion. I know that there are some ones like the web series, University. I really like the art. I think the holo just really kind of makes a difference for me. Full Moon Magikarp. Of course, Butterfree, always a popular Pokemon. Again, just missing out on a 10 in a lot of these. 9.5 does look good though. It's so hard though to kind of gauge it, especially as somebody that's selling most of these, because they don't carry the premium that PSA does. You know, they're a new company. They've been around not even 6 months into the grading scene, so it's kind of hard to establish the prices. But I have been very pleased. I'll go ahead and kind of break down the price of the Charizard. So the Neophile 2 Charizard, it's that reverse holo one that comes in the file with Pichu and the Unknowns and Eevee and Umbreon and Espeon. That card, I believe it sold the day before I sold mine. One sold in the PSA 9 for $120, and that was TCA Gaming's. And I sold my 8.5. I sold my 9.5 for $180 the next day. So I made $60 more than the 9, but the 10 I think sold recently for $320. So it's kind of hard to find that little in between right now and establish that. I think it's always going to kind of be that way because half grades, they're not really like the marker. Like, you don't go out like most people. PSA grades an 8.5, and most people don't kind of like look for that half grade. They're always looking for something else. BGS, like, even they've been around for a while and they've done the half grades, and it's just kind of hard to establish exactly what it is because you're basically like aiming one way or the other. If you get a half grade, you're trying to round up and regrade it probably to the next highest grade that you can get. I don't think most people keep cards in the half grade. I really like that seal. That's an 8.5, one of the rare ones in here. Like I said, I was very pleased. You know, the only card that really came back less than what I thought it would, like for a lower grade, was probably that Raichu, but I'm sure there's something wrong with that. Again, I think the holo really does it for this set. And Poliwrath. And this guy's the guy you didn't want to pull in base set. And I believe there's a chip on this one too. Yeah. So this one has another one of those kind of chunks taken out of it. It's not really at the top though, so they're hollow. And then Paris. Should probably put him back together with Parasect. And I'll go ahead and go over these ones. These ones actually are not for sale. These are going in my personal collection. This one came back exactly the way I anticipated as an 8. It had some light scratching, a tad bit of whitening on the back, but it's not too bad. But, you know, it's always nice that it actually came back. The CGC kind of thought it was an 8 too, because I do put a lot of weight into what they say. This one doesn't surprise me either. It's really off-centered, as you could probably see there. Like, just like top to bottom. I figured it was going to get dinged, and it did. I'd imagine that's probably the only thing that kept it, or pretty close to what kept it, because that's pretty awful centering there. It's not as bad on the back, but like I said, you can really see the difference there. This one I thought would come back as a 10. I actually opened this myself. I probably will crack this and send it to PSA because I do want the card in a 10. I just couldn't find anything wrong with it. This is probably one of those instances where subgrades comes in. Maybe a little off-centered, but I don't think it's really enough to tank it all the way to a 9.5. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite cards. And then, of course, Luigi Pikachu. Probably send this one to PSA too. I think that there's a lot of room for improvement there in the 9s. That's something that I could send in there and probably get a 10 on. I'd really like to have that set, and then maybe one day Mario. This one I knew would probably wouldn't get a 10 just because it's really off-centered. This is the one that I opened from that other video of the VHS deck. Pretty off-centered. Most of the cards in that were though, but all the other ones that I elected to send off with the unique arts are at PSA right now. That's probably another advantage. In the time that my PSA submission moved into grading, I think it moved in like middle of August, and that was a couple days before I sent this to CGC. It's still in the grading process, hasn't been updated since, and I already got my CGC order processed. That's not a scratch. That was just a cat hair. But yeah, this Charizard came back. I thought it'd be 6.5 or 7. Pretty beat up, but with the way that Charizards are rising now, you just basically have to get them all graded, and that just adds more value, and that's been the case with this one. I paid $60 for it and the Sabrina's Gengar about a year and a half ago, and now I've already had an offer for $400 on the card on eBay. So this is the Neophile 2 that I was talking about that the Charizard came from. just went ahead and just kind of graded all this because just everything's going up in a sense. So some of this stuff, I think if it's if it's worth over $20 graded, that's probably worth getting encapsulated at this point. Just because if you're spending like $8 to get a card graded, I mean, after fees and shipping or whatever, you probably make like $7 or $8. That's still money to be made. So, yeah, Pichu. And then the Umbreon and Espeon from that set, both got 9s. Again, a lot of these come in off-center. This is a very inconsistent set if you've ever bought any of those binders. I know the starters ones are pretty bad too. So that's why I was pleasantly surprised whenever the Charizard got a 9.5. It really kind of increased the value of it. Sceptile. This is one that I've kind of debated keeping in my personal collection because Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon. Really nice looking card. And here's another really nice one. Very popular Pokemon of Milotic. Very pleased that one got a 9.5. Like I said, these you kind of hope for 9s. You know, you brace yourself for 8s, especially with the way that these cards came in, you know, with them all being in a binder, and I'm not even sure how long they were in there. You have to consider it was probably for a long time, considering that, you know, this set's 16 years old, and it's not like these are always very popular. So this one, I before getting it ready to get graded, I thought it'd come back something like a 9 because it just has maybe like light scratching. But then when I was getting it ready, I noticed there's an indent, and it's really hard to see. I don't even think you can see it in the case, but I was able to notice it right before I sent it off. But it's the Rayquaza at this point. Those cards are really starting to take off, so it was just worth getting encapsulated. Magnetric. I really like that stamp. That's one of my favorite things about the new pre-release cards that they do. They always put the set stamp on there. I wouldn't mind if they brought that back. But I guess it makes it harder to sell pre-release then. Magnetric. Second one. And then the evolution line of Swellow and Talo. Both reverse hollows. I'm getting near the end here. And Feebas. That would probably line up pretty well with the Milotic. And I really like the art on that. You know, the little Pokeball bait. So where I'm in there. And then last but not least, Groudon. So that's pretty much the whole submission there, guys. Let me know what you thought. Will you be grading with CGC? Like I said, I was really pleased with the results. You know, I couldn't complain too much about it. My only issue would probably be right now just the case and exactly what's going on with that. But I think that's something that they'll probably get sorted out a little bit more. And, you know, in some cases that might be the trade-off for the presentation that you get. But anyway, it's a very nice looking case. I know a lot of people weren't really keen on it or label, but I think it's a lot different once you have it in person. And it does give people a different option, especially if they don't want to wait for PSA's turnaround times. And it's gotten to the point where they've had to shut down some different things. They're not accepting new members. They really kind of changed their bulk just to try to get caught up with different things. So yeah, it'll definitely be something to watch and keep an eye on and see how much CGC's market grows. I feel like it's already gotten a lot of traction for something as young as what it is, but you know, having come in with a background in coins and comics and having established a reputation already in some areas of grading, I think that helps a lot. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments.